What's up guys, Shawnthebro here, and we're back for another episode of the third-person action RPG tutorial series. In today's episode, we're going to be going over making the quit game button function on our main menu, as well as adding a pop-up for quit game asking if we want to confirm and actually leave the game. Right now, this doesn't do anything. We just made a template for it here on our main menu, so the only button that works is the campaign button, which brings us into the game. We will be adding more shortly, such as gamepad and keyboard controls. That way we don't need to press these inputs on the main menu and all of our menus with the mouse. But currently we don't have that. Now before we hop into today's episode, if you want to get caught up and check out everything that we can do in the third-person action RPG, like locking on, zooming in or aiming down sights, attacking opponents, having hit effects, and a whole lot more, I'll link you to the entire third-person and action RPG tutorial series right here in the top right corner. Alternatively, if you don't care about that and you only care about the quick game, menu flow, and other features related to those concepts, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to follow along with the whole series to watch these episodes. I do recommend that you watch at least this episode right here, which is the episode where we made the main menu, because that's what we're going to be using today to trigger our quit game logic. I'll link that episode right here in the top right corner. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and get started. Now this is a code and blueprint tutorial series. We're mainly going to be working in the blueprints today because we're going to be making a new widget for our quit game pop-up, our confirmation pop-up, and we're going to be adding the logic to quit the game in that widget. Like I mentioned earlier, when we get into gamepad controls, keyboard controls, we will have C++ components for that, but right now it's just in the blueprints. If we go to our blueprints and go to widgets, you'll see in here we have our main menu, and the main menu is the widget that spawns when we load into our default level that the game starts in after our press any key screen is passed. In here, the only logic is to open the third-person example map, which is our map that we have for the first level of our game in our third-person action RPG. The other inputs should do things though, and we're going to fill these out as we get to them. So the first thing we want to do here is go to each of our different buttons, such as the options button and the quick game button, and we can do them both even though we're not going to create the options or settings widget in here today. So click on your options button and go to events in the details panel. On pressed is the one we want here, so on clicked is only for mice. If we press the mouse button, on pressed is going to work for gamepad and keyboard inputs as well as our mouse. On pressed plus, we'll have on pressed option button here. We don't have to do anything with this today, but we will be using that. And let's go back and go to the quit game button and scroll down to our events here and go to on pressed and add it. Then we have our on pressed for our quit game button. Next thing that we need to do is create a widget when this input is pressed, and that's going to be our pop-up. Now we don't have this yet, but if we go into our blueprints widgets, we can right click and make a new user interface widget blueprint. This will work in UE4 and UE5, and you can also go to add user interface widget blueprint. Whatever method you prefer is perfectly fine here. In UE4, you will automatically get a user widget when you do this, but in UE5, you can have parent classes to your widgets. This is something that we may utilize later in the series, but for now, a user widget is perfectly fine. So we can make user widget here. Call this quit game pop-up. And we'll go into it. In here, this is where we create our pop-up for our quit game. If you're in UE4, you will have a canvas panel in here by default. This will be your default container, just like this. But if you're in UE5, you won't have anything in here by default. It's up to you if you want to use a canvas panel, or you can use some other hierarchy, such as another container, an overlay, or really any mix of widgets that makes the effect that you want. A canvas panel is fine for this. It will do exactly what we need. So here's our canvas panel, and we can make a giant image. Pop up background, or pop up background image even. And for the anchors, we can put it in the center of the screen. The anchor point just determines where the positions are based off of. So if we put the anchors to the center box here, the center of the screen, that means we can simply set the position X to 0 and the position Y to 0 to get this image in the center of the screen. It won't really be in the center though, because that's going off the top left of this background image. If we want this image to be truly centered, we should also change the alignment to be 0.5 and 0.5. which puts the alignment point in the very center of this image. 0.5 or 50% horizontal and 0.5 or 50% vertical. Now we can change the size of our widget to whatever size we want our pop-up to be. So off the top of my head, we can do maybe like 1000 for the X, and let's do 400 for the Y. That might make for a pretty good pop-up here. We may want to use an image as opposed to a flat color. We could make it look really nice this way, but if you don't have an image like I don't, you can just change the tint or the color and the opacity to get the effect that you want. For example, I can change the colors here to make this a dark gray or light gray pop-up and hit OK. So now I have a gray pop-up here. On this pop-up, we can add a text element as well. Common text, bring this onto the canvas panel. We can call this text pop-up title text. And we can choose the middle anchor for this as well. Set the position X and the position Y to 0. Change the alignment to 0.5 and 0.5. This way we center our text in here. Since this is the title of the pop-up, we probably want it at the top of the pop-up here. So we could change our position Y to be -100, -120, something like that. And we can change our size here. You could do size to content so that whatever text size we put in here will fit in this block and it will be centered. That will work very well. We don't really plan on changing this text a lot, but you could also make the size X the same size as the size X for the background image. And it will also be centered. So if we do this, set this to 1000, then our text is the same size as the pop-up. When we scroll down in our text fields here, there will be a justification, which we can hit center to put it in the middle. So that will work pretty well. If we go back to the background image now, we want to make sure that this always renders behind the text. So we can change the Z order to be -1. So any elements we want to put on this pop-up render on top of this background image. Additionally, we don't need this image to be a variable. We're not planning on changing our background image at runtime. We don't need access to it in the graph, and we can uncheck that. Now going back to the text here, I want to change the size here to 40 on the Y just so that this text can actually be centered inside this text block. At 30, it's a little too small. It sits at the bottom. I prefer to have it centered like that. And for the content, the text, this is where we can write what we want to write. Are you sure you want to quit? It's a good example for it. And we can change the colors if we want. Everything about your font, I like to give these text an outline just to make them pop a little bit. So 2 outline size, and there we go. Now the other thing we need is 2 buttons. We need a yes and a no button. If we go to common button and add 2 to our canvas panel here, we can have a confirm button and a back button. We can leave these both as variables. Then we can position them on the canvas panel where we want them. So anchor, center. Position X and Y, 0. Alignment, 0.5 and 0.5. Now at this point we can just position them wherever looks nice. So if we want confirm to be on the right, we can give this a position of, say, 300 and a position Y of 200. Let's do 150. Okay, something like that will probably do. Maybe we'll want to bring this up or change the size of it a little bit, like 125. And for the back button, let's do the same thing. So center anchors, 0 position, X and Y to start, alignment of 0.5 and 0.5. For the position Y, we want to copy what we did for the other button, which is 125. And for the position X, we probably want to do the opposite of what we did here, so -300 instead of +300. Now we have our 2 buttons in place. And we want to add text to them. So we can add text to each button. Text to the confirm button and text to the back button. The confirm button will be confirm btn for button text. The back button will be back btn text. For the confirm button text, we can just say confirm, and for the back button text, we can just say back. Now the text doesn't really fit in these buttons. You have a few different options, of course. You can either change the text itself, the size of the text, you could change the size of the buttons. It doesn't really matter what you do here, it is your menu. For me, I'm just going to increase the size of the buttons. So confirm button, if we make the size of it 200 on the X and 40, or let's do 50 on the Y, this looks pretty good. Now we can go to the back button and do the same thing. So size X is 200, size Y is 50. Now we have back and confirm buttons. On the confirm button text, I would like to add an outline size of 2. And same with the back button text, just to make those things pop again. And now this little pop-up is looking really nice. You can leave the pop-up where it is in the center of this canvas panel, or you can change the size of this canvas panel so that you only have the pop-up, and then you just determine where to spawn the pop-up. As with all of our other tutorial series, we will eventually get into scaling. As we have different screen sizes, these things will appear in the correct spots, which right now they're not going to do that. So if we change the size of this and call add to viewport, it's going to appear in the top left corner. There are easy ways around that, but since we don't have a real system in place for this, I'm just going to keep it set up how it is now, and we can deal with some of the positional things later in this series. At this point, what we want to do is make sure that our confirm and back buttons can actually do something. If we go to our confirm button and go to the details panel and scroll down, we can go to events and add one for on pressed. We can also get rid of the other nodes in here for event construct, pre-construct, and tick, as we're not going to be using them in today's episode. So on press confirm button, and we can do the same for the back button here. So back, details, events, on pressed, add. If we're confirming that we want to quit the game, we want to do the logic for actually quitting the game, which is literally quit game. There's a function in Unreal that already does this, so we might as well use it. To call this function, what you need is the specific player that is quitting. If you don't specify, player 0 will quit, as the comment says here. I do like to be explicit when it's not too much trouble. Get player controller and just pass in player controller 0 here. Since we're on the main menu, this is pretty safe to do. We don't really need to get a specific player controller, because quitting on the main menu means that whatever the main player of this game is, they're quitting it. The quit preference, we have quit in background. Quit means it actually closes the game and exits the application. Background means it moves it to a background application. So it's just not focused, it's not awake, it gets put into a sleep mode. In our specific case, we want to quit. We're done with the game at this point. There's also a boolean here to ignore platform restrictions. This will force the game to quit regardless of what the platform tells applications to do. We don't need that right now. We can look into that later if we ever need to use this. This allows us to quit the game. Now the other thing that we want to do is have the ability to press the back button. The back button is going to remove this pop-up from the screen, from the viewport, and bring the player back to the main menu. This pop-up is going to be added on top of the main menu, so we don't really need to transition away from this widget. We just need to remove this widget. On press of the back button, we can call remove from parent. This will remove this widget, target itself, from the parent widget that it is on. If it's not tied to a widget, that will be the viewport, and it will still remove it from there as well. So remove from parent will do what we need to do. This widget is ready to go. We need to go to our main menu widget now, and when we press the quit game button, we need to create our new widget. So create widget. We can select for our class the quit game pop-up. Then in here, we have our owning player, and we should assign this to get player controller 0, because like with the pop-up, I was saying that we can safely assume that player controller 0 will be the one quitting the game. I think this is true for also pressing this input. If we have other players, they may be able to quit, but regardless, the main player should be the one quitting from the main menu, even if another player controller initiates it. We also need to add this widget to the viewport after creating it. So we get this return value. This is the constructed widget. We can now add to viewport, and we'll be adding our widget to the viewport. If we are to play now, we can go to our main menu, we can click on quit game, which is going to spawn our quit game pop-up. If we press back, it's going to remove that pop-up. If we press it again, we'll get the pop-up again, and if we press confirm, we'll actually quit the game. This will work in more than just the editor too. This will work in the actual standalone instances or package instances of the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode on quitting your game or exiting your game and creating pop-up widgets. If you did and it helped you, then please subscribe, as that does a ton for the channel, gives me a lot of support, lets me know that you guys are interested in this type of content. If you want to support the channel further and get some benefits for doing so, you can check out the YouTube membership, Patreon, and Discord subscriptions to help throw some more support my way. Thank you all so much to everyone who has. You guys are amazing. If you ran into any problems with your quit game pop-up or quit game functionality or any of my tutorials, feel free to join the Discord community. There is a link in the description, and I would be happy to help you out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Shawnthebro, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.